Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassett, and last night we watched a team win despite the quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys, who on this show we said are very good, are very bad, and now we're thinking they're probably somewhere in the middle. Just go destroy a backup team. Just a full practice squad. And Cowboys fans are hyped because obviously the division is still in their reach, but I don't think they should be too excited because their quarterback, probably not the quarterback of the future, and everyone's like, should the Cowboys draft a quarterback? Or maybe there's a quarterback sitting on their bench who is already that guy, Cooper Rush, who for a couple weeks there, we were riding the Cooper train. He loses to the Eagles, kind of unfair. He was like the sacrificial lamb there. They just put him out to die so that they could put Dak back in. Patrick, what's the deal at quarterback? And do the Dallas Cowboys have serious concerns heading into the postseason?
Dak Prescott's numbers are not good. He has 7 interceptions for the last 7 touchdowns he has. Not a math expert, not a great ratio. What I can tell you, though, is the Cowboys, they feel good. They covered. Like you said, Josh, it was a backup team. They sent Joshua Dobbs out there that hadn't really been on their team all year. He actually performed pretty solid.
I'd argue he hadn't been on their team all month.
Yeah, right. He performs well. If you're the Cowboys, look, it's hard to win in the NFL. You're happy you get it done. But there's real questions. There's real questions because let's be honest, they're not going to win the division, Josh. So when they don't win the division, they're going to get a 5 seed.
There's a legitimate shot. No, because if Dallas wins the next 2 games or I guess 1 game, and the Eagles lose the next 2 games.
But that's not going to happen, Josh. I'm telling you this. That's not going to happen.
It could.
The Eagles are going to win one of the games. So when you're sitting there as a 5 seed and you have to go into Tampa Bay and you have to play Tom Brady, who do I trust more? Tom Brady or Dak Prescott? And then the question becomes, well, if Dak can't play well, Josh, let's be honest. If you're sitting there in the third quarter, okay, and you're down 21-10, and you have like a defensive touchdown from the Cowboys, that's the only score on the board. Do you dare put in Cooper Rush?
Man, I think you got to roll with Dak at this point. It's a very interesting situation. Jerry Jones, he basically, Dak's his guy, right?
Well, yeah, but just because you paid him a bunch of money,
Because I think if they wanted to roll Cooper Rush, they would have rolled with him through the season. He wins 2 games, right? 2 games?
No, didn't he win like 4?
Or maybe he wins. Okay, so he wins like 3 or 4 games.
He was good. Remember,
the only loss he has comes against the Eagles, who at that time were undefeated and just buzzsawing teams, right?
Right.
Man, Cooper Rush got the short end of the stick.
And let's not to mention, like, Dak beat Gardner Minshew. No disrespect to Gardner Minshew, but he's the backup quarterback for a reason on the Eagles. So when you're comparing that,
also you mean late in the season, you're clinched in the playoffs, you don't have that same chip you're playing
Christmas
for.
Eve too,
It's very interesting because on the other side of the ball, the Titans, they start Joshua Dobbs, who doesn't play terrible for a quarterback who hasn't been on the team long as he really doesn't play that bad. He was previously on the Lions. Before that, he was on the Browns or something. But they don't put in Malik Willis, and Malik obviously gets a couple starts this year.
Hasn't looked great.
Hasn't looked amazing. He's had flashes of he could be a good quarterback. And then there's most times it's like, okay.
He's a developmental guy, I would say.
He's developing because you think about it. He went to Liberty. Liberty's opponents are not... if you go to Georgia or Alabama...
the next step's a little bit easier.
The teams you're playing against, you're playing against the same guys you're going to be playing against in 5 years.
More than likely. You're right. Yeah.
Those guys are going to be, the defenses you're going up against are the defenses, they're the guys of the future, right?
I agree.
And so, obviously, he's got to get adjusted to the speed of the game. It seems like the Titans were like, hey, we have no faith in you to do anything. But I did see a video, and not enough people are talking about the videos.
Josh,
Malik Willis before the game, talking to some fans. They're like, hey, man, we're praying for you, believing in you. Old guy on the side is saying, hey.
Instinct.
Instinct. It's about instinct, kid. Okay? Hey. And he's, and he's coaching him up, and Malik's like, yeah, you got it. Malik says he's feeling a little sick this week. Now, Is we talking like physically ill? Is that why he didn't play? Or maybe he's just like he's feeling sick that the organization would treat him in such a terrible way.
Josh, I think here's something we got to remember is, okay, it looks like they essentially benched Malik Willis, but at the same time, this game meant nothing to the Titans. It wasn't going to do anything for their playoff hopes. So if Malik's not feeling good, don't put him out there. Do we see Malik Willis start against the Jaguars week 18? Trevor Lawrence versus Malik Willis?
Man, I feel like they kind of ruined that by not starting him yesterday.
Right, but what if he was actually sick? What if he was actually...
Okay, so scenario, he's actually sick and he could not play, but didn't he suit up still? Or maybe he's just sick throughout the week, so he didn't practice good, Maybe,
right, yeah.
Is that Malik just making excuses?
Well, that's the other thing. Is that like Malik being like, yeah, I was actually sick. That's why
I was sick, and that's why those throws I was missing, wide open guys. I mean, Traylon Burks was open every single play, but I was sick.
I've actually been sick for a few weeks now.
Honestly, I've had this, it's been kind of lingering all season, if you really think, I remember...
Which I don't want to make fun of, because I'm actually, I've had a cold for, 3 weeks now.
And you know what? Nobody's, COVID's still around, maybe that is the case.
But what we do know is that video comes out, Malik Willis looks like a good dude.
He looks like a nice dude. That's the kind of guy who... you want to root for.
That's going to be your franchise quarterback.
That's the kind of guy who's going to be franchise quarterback. I think that's going to happen for sure. Patrick, it feels like this season there's been a lot of backups starting. Ridiculous amount of... I feel like more quarterbacks have started this year than ever.
Coward take. I feel like you would say this. Backup quarterback position has never been more important than right now in the NFL, which I think is true.
I think, yeah. I mean, okay, Ravens... backup quarterback. And they're playoff contenders. Titan, backup quarterback, playoff contenders.
Baker
Eagles,
Mayfield,
backup quarterback.
Eagles, backup quarterback.
Playoff contender. So many teams are they're rolling with the backups. And the backups are not
kind of playing well. Yeah.
And I think it's kind of showing, it's very interesting because I think we all know teams with good quarterbacks have good teams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The quarterbacks who play, if you have a good quarterback, it's just assumed that your team's going to play good because if you have quarterbacks,
if you got a good quarterback, you should probably.
But now it's are we going to switch our mindset here? That the good teams have good quarterbacks. Before it was
is it a system quarterback?
Yeah, that's the thing you got to think. Gardner Minshew goes out and. We all know Gardner Minshew's had some days. Minshew Mania was a time of our lives.
Yes.
But Gardner Minshew goes out and he does not perform bad. I'd argue that I think
it's going to get some starter looks next year probably.
Probably will. And I think that if you put Jalen Hurts in that game, I still think the Cowboys probably would have found a way to win. That's just usually how it goes if you got the home. You usually split with teams that are good in the division.
Right. And I don't think you want to make the argument that the Eagles are a system quarterback, Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback. No, obviously not.
No, but I'm saying that if you got a good team, it seems and you have weapons and
you can put the backup in there and he can play well.
It seems like the quarterback position, I'm not saying it's getting devalued, but it feels like maybe it's not putting other pieces in place might be just as important, if not more important, is all I'm saying.
Oh.
But then here's also counter the argument. Russell Wilson, who
we thought
let's be real, we thought we had a great team. We thought the Broncos were amazing. We thought they had weapons. We thought all these things. They're bad. But Russell Wilson, he got a lot of defense yesterday from former teammates, from former players of the organization who never played. Von Miller. They never played together. Coming out speaking on his character. They're
playing the same organization though, Josh.
Not at the same time. So it's it was a little bit confusing. He's I've heard things around the building. What? When? But
it's dude, aren't you in Buffalo?
It's how are you commenting on this? And so they say Russell Wilson's actually hey, he's a good guy. We believe in Russell Wilson, but also, do you think that the ownership is hey, can you guys Just defend him. We got a lot of money tied up in this.
Yeah,
guy.
but does ownership actually?
We got to make him work.
Do you know how rich those owners are? Like they could.
Well, they got the Walmart money, the richest of them all. So.
Yeah, exactly. They're the Steve Cohens of football. Except there's a thing called a salary cap, so they can't actually do that. But
yeah,
that's why you can just fire a coach. But Russell Wilson had KJ Hamler, had Jerry Jeudy come to his defense yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any offensive linemen. I didn't hear anyone from the defense come to his defense. It was only the guys he throws to.
That is you make up a very good point because everyone was saying it's a feel-good story for Russell Wilson. Listen, defense has to be.
Did we not just see the backup quarterback Brett Rippon get shoved on the sideline last week on Christmas because of his offensive lineman? He was trying to defend Russell Wilson. So I don't want to hear the spin zone from everyone that's like Russell Wilson. He's back in it with the team. I'd argue no.
Yeah, no, Russell Wilson. It makes me like it's wild, and Denver fans have to be like kind of in the same boat as Deshaun Watson. But, at least like it's like both teams just are going to be. Listen, if you're a Browns fan or a Broncos fan, newsflash, guys. The quarterback who's currently playing quarterback for your team now is who's going to be playing quarterback for your team next year and years to come.
Yeah. You're not getting out of the contract.
I just hate to say it.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. Honestly, buy jersey. At least you're in it for the ride.
A lot easier to buy a Russell Wilson jersey.
A lot easier to buy. But you have to think that a percentage of Deshaun jerseys are going to settlement fees. And so I like to think that those women are getting in the bag,
Anyway.
Yeah. So it is interesting. You mentioned, though, they're able to fire a head coach, which Nathaniel Hackett gets fired, which none of us were really surprised about.
No.
I felt bad for him. He really was set up to fail. He was set up to fail. You go from Aaron Rodgers. Like, by the way, guys,
Aaron Rodgers
I understand why some people get hired as head coach. And I understand it's probably hard to tell, if it's the scheme or not. I think we learned a lot about probably what it was like, or what Nathaniel Hackett was like as an offensive coordinator. Like, dude had Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams.
Well, also it was like
those guys are gonna guess what? They're gonna be good. They're gonna have good offenses.
But Josh, was Nathaniel Hackett's job as the offensive coordinator was he just friends with Aaron Rodgers? Like was that it was just vibes, strictly vibes. It was Aaron Rodgers loved him.
It seems like
because he didn't coach well. He wasn't.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting. Some say he's gonna go back to Green Bay. I think maybe take some time off, Nathaniel.
Dude,
enjoy the break. Enjoy the break.
Take the money. Go to Turks and Caicos.
Yeah.
You just had to deal with Russell Wilson for 16 weeks?
That had to have been tough.
I think you deserve some time off, man.
Yeah, it does suck though. I think Raiders fans probably see that and they probably get a little jealous because obviously they're not in a financial position to fire their coach.
Is this just me brainwashed? But I think Josh McDaniels is a good coach.
I don't know.
Am I just brainwashed by Bill Belichick?
You might be. I'm going to be honest with you, Patrick.
There's a part of me that...
I've watched very few Raiders games this year. The Raiders games I have watched, I just go, what are we doing? Now, a lot of my frustration has been pent up in fantasy. And so, the beginning of the year...
Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs was just not getting the ball enough. He was running great. He wasn't getting the ball enough.
Now he gets
I was upset. And then that kind of changed, that turned around. And so now I am a little bit more pro, Josh McDaniels than I was before. Raiders fans can't be happy because Derek Carr gets benched, which they probably are happy about. But it feels like Derek Carr is probably taking if I saw Colin Cowherd tweet a stat, if you take away his
rookie season,
he's an above average quarterback.
Josh,
maybe average.
Average
to above average.
I want to look and I'm going to stare into the camera here. Derek Carr did not get benched. He just got fired. They told him, don't even come. It's almost disrespectful. He's been with the organization since 2014, okay? He got them to a playoff game last year when all odds were stacked against that team. Just terrible stuff was happening left and right, okay? He gets into a playoff game.
Yeah.
And then this is how you treat him on the way out? Because, look, I know Jarrett Stidham knows the offense of Josh McDaniels. But is this really Derek Carr's fault? Look, I'm not going to sit here and say Derek Carr's a great quarterback, but just show him the respect. Just give him at least the last 2 games of the year.
Man, the problem with Derek Carr is he really fumbled the bag by doing this one thing. He just didn't throw to Devontae Adams. Like, I'm going to tell you this right now.
Hey, Josh, I don't know if you know, but like they went to college together.
I don't know if you know this, but if I was an NFL quarterback today, I could get the ball to Devontae Adams at least once in a game. I'd probably throw 99 interceptions. I'm not going to lie. Like, every pass I make is probably going to be an interception, but I was just going to say every pass I throw would probably be caught. But I think I could get the ball to Devontae Adams at least once.
Josh, can we go out and say, like, Devontae Adams is good.
He's very good. And, like, just throw the ball his way. That's what I never understood. It's like, if you just throw the ball his way, Devontae Adams is going to make a play.
Probably going to catch it.
Yeah. It was kind of ridiculous. Also, like, literally, that's what Aaron Rodgers did. He just threw it to Devontae Adams. Isn't it weird, though, that I can't imagine Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers now? Like, I can't imagine them on the same team.
Is that like when you like break up with someone and it's like, wow, I can't even imagine why they dated?
Yeah, I just can't see it anymore. It's wild.
Also, I just want to say congratulations to Derek Carr, who's going to be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh no, I heard the Jets
next season. But this is like such a Colts thing to do.
It would be a Colts thing to do, but I think the Colts at this point just need to draft the guy. But they probably will. I could see it, and the narrative is going to be like Derek Carr. Like, listen, you take away that rookie season. He's a great quarterback. You know, give him the right coach, the right system.
We just pound the rock with Jonathan Taylor.
And he's a leader. He's the leader that we want. You see that emotion when he's losing. You know, he's upset. Which, by the way, dude, don't cry at work. My dad, he taught me a few things in life. My dad,
go Josh, go.
He taught me he always, Josh, hey, just work hard now. He said, take the hard path in life now. And you know, so when you're 30, when 40, because 30, 40 comes fast, but you know, take the hard path in life now.
Okay, that's
and
one.
then you can be rewarded in the future. And the second thing he told me, he said, don't cry at work.
2.
He's always told me that. Gosh, don't cry at work. Don't cry at work. And by the way, I haven't cried at work, guys. That wasn't like a response to something.
Is crying at a post-game presser at work?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
It's your job.
Is it?
Because
he's not on the football field.
No, but here
would that be at work, or is that like crying in your car about work?
No, because here's what I'm just gonna say it like this. Is post-game press conference optional?
No,
it's required. That's a work function.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That was a good spin. I like that, Josh.
It's true. No, it's definitely part of the job. Like, if he could not go to that, he would have not gone to it. Therefore, it's work. Patrick, today's a monumentous day.
Josh, that was such a great point. Sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Today's a very monumentous day.
It is.
We are doing something that only hundreds of internet companies before us have done.
Yes.
Maybe probably
thousands.
Only thousands of internet companies before us have done.
Boom.
We're an elite company. We are launching a website. I really think this is the next step into the future of this brand. And what it is, Patrick, we got a blog. Now, if you're not a reader, you don't have to read it at all. But guess what? There are a lot of pictures. So if you're like me, if you're like a picture book guy, you know, this is the blog for you. We write it in a super simple way. You're never gonna have to it's not big daunting paragraphs. We break it down. We got pictures. It's fun. Engaging. It's well written. It's the kind of blog you want to read. So right now, URL, you can go to You can go to picksandpancakes.com or joshandpat.com.
Either one.
Make it simple. But I wrote a blog, Patrick, and I've been working on this for a while, by the way. I felt like an investigative journalist.
Let's pull up these notes
during
Josh.
this, and I felt really proud of it. Listen, I worked hard on this. I spent real time putting this together. It was what NFL mascot would win in a fight. Which one? Like you put, and I'm not talking like, the one you see on the side of like in the stadium.
Right.
This is not Poe versus like
the
Brownie,
the Jaguar like Duval guy.
Yeah. This is not that. Although that would be pretty sweet. It's like a Raven versus a Jaguar. Who wins? So what I did was
probably a Jaguar.
I seeded it out based on the current standings because I wanted something objective. First of all, Dave Klein, friend of the show, he said...
Friend of the program, yeah.
Friend of the program. He said, listen, what are you doing, Josh? You got to have a ranking. You can't have... If you want the good matchups, you got to have good seeding. I'm like that. If I made a seeding, it would be I'd be just telling you who I thought was going to win in the first place.
Exactly. So then if there was an upset, like if the 4 upset at the 1, then you just misranked the 4.
Yes. That's all. If you want a ranking, I'll give you a ranking, but it's just not going to be a bracket then. So I put together this bracket. Now there was a little bit of controversy on it because I took a couple different angles. Like for instance, like the Jets. I was saying, listen, a jet is a jet. Like, it can't fly itself.
Like, is this like a private jet?
Yeah, I don't think it's a F-18. I think it's like, because if you see any, find any pictures of the New York Jets with like a jet, it's like a plane.
Well, you also take the angle that it's not the New York military jets. It's just the New York Jets.
No, yeah, exactly. And so I really worked hard here. And I put together this bracket. It's on the screen, as you see. And man, I think it's pretty solid. Now, you'll see like teams like the Buccaneers, right? Buccaneers are out pretty early in the tournament.
Well, it's tough. And I would say the one thing that the Bucs got a really bad draw in was that they had to go against the Viking.
Exactly. It was just how it was. And so, I don't think the Final Four is necessarily the best 4 of all these teams.
But that's how the NFL works.
But that's how it goes sometimes,
But also, I just want to go back. When you look at, we don't want to give away the whole bracket here, but when you look at like certain matchups, you get the Bucs versus the Vikings, right? It's just like football. You think about the Vikings, they're in North. They're a cold weathered team. They're gritty. Like, you don't want to go up to Nova Scotia and go against the Vikings.
Yeah.
But the Vikings can go down to the tropics and take care of the Buccaneers.
Now, the big thing is,
right?
It was a close one because the big difference was, and what I found is, as I did this tournament, turns out mascots with guns usually do better than mascots without guns. That's usually the indicator. This was one of the only instances where that wasn't the case because Vikings have a little bit more grit,
I do want to touch on one other matchup.
Okay.
It was in the second round. Talk me through the process, the thoughts of the 49ers beating Giants.
Okay. Now that is an interesting one. and it really it took a lot of thought power for me. So I said, first, the problem was, so the Giants faced Browns round 1. I was like, okay, that's a win. So I don't really need to think too much about the Giants. But then I had to really define what a New York Giant was because there's a lot of depictions of Giants throughout the world, and there's really no, Giant memorabilia or,
There's an actual giant.
Yeah, with an actual giant. We don't have one. So I'm like, okay, there's a couple, it could be like Andre the Giant. The Green Giant. It could be Jack and the Beanstalk Giant.
Oh, Green Giant would be awesome. The guy on the side of the green bean cans.
It'd be sweet.
That would be.
But I was like, I think the most common giant is you think about the Jack and the Beanstalk just type giant, kind of dumb. 3, 5, 4, 5, you know? If you talk like that, you're probably not the brightest.
Yeah, but you're giant.
But I also, my thought was, okay, Jack killed the giant, right?
Okay.
David killed Goliath.
Boom.
It seems like in most stories where the giant is going up against something, the giant loses to the thing that's smaller. And you can't tell me that this 49er is not going out with his gun going pew, right in the eyeball. You can't tell me that.
Yeah, but where does the gold come into this?
Gold doesn't make a play until, well, I don't want to give it away.
Ooh.
But listen, the gold does make a play, and in a huge way. Well, I'm just going to tease that if you guys read it. But I do think, because you're right, Giants do like gold.
Do they?
But 49, well, I'm pretty sure Giants have doesn't Jack steal a bunch of gold from the Giants?
Oh. That's a great question, Josh.
I think he might.
It's a great question.
But I like to think that Giant does have gold, and that would just give more incentive for the 49er to take care of business.
Fair.
And so that's what it really came down to. I just feel like I said, gun versus no gun. I take gun. Is like, if it's close, I take gun.
Yeah. It's probably fair.
It is fair.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really just thought about, though, Patrick, is a lot of bird mascots, considering that birds would probably be one of the worst things that you could have fighting for you.
Right. But is the objective of a mascot to win in a fight?
I don't know. Is it?
Like, did they name the Falcons the Falcons because they're like, yeah, it's a fierce guy?
Why did they name it the Falcons?
It's a great question.
Like, okay, here. The Ravens, I understand. Because the Ravens is dope. Because it's like based off of
Edgar Allan Poe,
the Raven,
right.
ties in with
Baltimore
history. Like, that's cool. That's a cool name. It's like, but there's a lot of bird names where it's just like, what?
Well, just think of it.
Like I understand that an eagle is like a symbol for like
I never understood, but I never understood why the eagle was green.
Eagles aren't really green.
Like, you know what I like it would make sense. Like, if the Philadelphia Eagles, like this, the
why are they red, white, and blue?
The City of Liberty, the Liberty Bell.
I might like them more. Oh, so you're saying they should be the Philadelphia Bells?
No, not that. I'm just saying, like you get the Liberty Bell, all that constitutional stuff. Boom, red, white, and blue for the Eagles.
That would be so sweet. That would just make it 10 times better. Eagles, you guys really messed up on the branding there.
Boom.
And that green is kind of gross. It's a gross green.
Actually, I kind of like it.
It's like a dirty pond green.
No, I would say it's
like a body of water that you don't want to be in.
Yeah, that's probably fair. That's a good point. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of stuff on the blog, though. Different articles.
What you dropping a blog today?
Yeah, we are. So it's a little bit more of a niche one that we'll have focused on the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, and where he may end up going.
He's leaving?
I think so.
No way.
I think so.
Read about it.
Yeah.
Read about it. Anyway, guys, that's the show. Patrick, what do you got going on today? Big
Josh,
plans?
we got a little tea time going on. We'll hit the links and then
kind of cold.
It's going to be 60. So
it's going to warm up.
But the other thing is, it's a big work day. It's Friday. It's last Friday of the year, Josh. So you get off.
You got to get it in now.
You get off the links, and then it's we're gonna grind on some stuff. I know you got some spike ball stuff. But
I do have a spike ball tournament 4:30. It's nice because it's at the end of the day. It's like, okay, finish Friday early, which is nice. But it gives you incentive to like just grind a little bit harder because it's like, hey, 4:30 rolls around. Spike ball. The problem with spike ball is, Patrick, I'm on a new level, as ASAP said.
I'm on a new level. Right, ASAP. Who ASAP?
It's just ASAP, right? Isn't that ASAP?
There's Rocky. There's Ferg. There's 12E.
I'm gonna say Rocky.
I don't think that's right, but okay.
Hold up. Yeah. Anyway, it's just the problem is just that the competition's always not super fierce, but I think they're getting better. So I think I'm gonna maybe it'll be a A little bit tougher today. I don't know. But I'm excited for it. But yeah, check out the blog. Subscribe to us. And I'll see you this weekend for another episode of Picks and Pancakes. Goodbye.
That just popped up.
Oh, really? Just now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best timing.
Like it popped up right when we were talking about baseball.
Oh, perfect.